Uncle Thor here. There are many aspects of the Urus Rune, and they're all related. We think of wildness, like the aurochs bull that symbolizes it. We think of great strength, again, of the bull. Independence, confidence. These are just some of the aspects of the rune, and there's a connection to all of them. If you're strong, you can be wild. You can be independent. If you're weak, you're not. You have to be dependent. You have to stay within limits. Some recent medical issues kind of reminded me of that, the issue of what happens when you suddenly lose your strength and how hard it is to get it back. Now we look at these other aspects, confidence, we look at wildness, we look at independence, and we really can't measure them. But one part of the Urus Rune that we can measure, that gives us an idea, is the measure of strength. And this is important because it is part of our dialogue as modern human beings. You'll hear it used on the news, you'll hear it used in conversations with other people. So strength and its measure matters. And one of the things we hear of is the strength of an army, or the strength of an air force or a navy. An army is calculated in manpower, how many men, how many tanks, how much artillery, how many helicopters. And these numbers are used to calculate the strength of an army. With an air force, it's again how many men, how many airfields, how many jets, how many transports. With the Navy, how many ships, how many sailors, how many submarines, how many planes on aircraft carriers. It's easy to see that. The manpower of a company, part of its strength for a large company is its manpower, its factory force. You know, how many men and women are working in that factory, are working in the stores. That's part of their strength. But this is just one aspect of it. You know, a more common thing is how strong are you? We have different ways of measuring that. How many pounds can you lift? How many laps can you do around the park? Or how many laps can you swim in the pool? How many push-ups can you do? This is a measure of strength that it's an immediate thing to us. And lifting weight, it seems to be the most common among them. Objects are subject to different kinds of strength. Often how much they can resist. You think of a bulletproof vest, the strength of that vest. How much firepower can it resist? Can it resist only pistols, some rifles, at what range? That's something to consider. There are materials that resist, like plexiglass. How much wind can it resist? How much rain or hail? And these are all measures of the strength of that thing. So we can measure strength to a degree. What we have trouble measuring is moral strength, strength of purpose. When strength hits the emotional and the spiritual and the intuitive level, then it gets hard to measure. How strong-willed is someone? We don't have a measure for that. We can maybe do a comparison. Well, he has a more stronger will than this person, less than this person. But we really don't have a measure for that. So even in measuring strength, there are limits. But it is something to consider, because the measure of strength gives us a good idea of just how much Urus is being manifested. It may not be the most accurate system, but it gives us an idea. And when measuring anything to do with the runes, the usual best you can do is get a ballpark figure. One other aside I'd like to give is that I really got an object lesson in the necessity of strength and how it affects things. In the last year and a half especially, I had taken quite ill, and my strength was just sapped right out of me. And so things that I could do normally now became difficult. And a lot of it was a lack of the strength of breathing, the strength to walk. It was a very frightening thing. But now that I've basically gotten past it, it certainly puts in perspective part of the role of strength in our lives and how having it gives us independence and confidence, even a degree of wildness. But not having it makes us dependent, makes us slow, makes us almost tame. Just something to consider. So that's the Urus Rune for today. This is Uncle Thor. Have a good one.